In this video, we'll be doing a step-by-step walkthrough of the staff summary, an important component of your AmeriCorps reimbursement request. So first, I'll be going over the staff summary intro, then I'll show you how to fill out the staff summary, and then we'll go over the timesheets, and at the end, I'll share some best practices. The staff summary is an important part of your AmeriCorps reimbursement request. You're required to submit this once a month, along with your bi-weekly timesheets. It consolidates all monthly timesheet and payroll numbers you report. It also serves as a way for us to check your allocated hours for match and expense, AmeriCorps hours, and paid time off. You'll notice that this is all labeled on the spreadsheet, starting with your criminal history check. This is filled out by your financial manager. And you can see the list of staff members and position descriptions on the first tab of the spreadsheet. Remember that you cannot bill staff before this date. For more information on criminal history checks, please contact your program manager. And in order to add additional staff, please contact your financial manager. Moving to the rest of the columns, you'll notice the total gross salary column. This is where you'll enter your total gross salary for your staff member. To the right of the gross salary section, we have your expense and match percentage sections. These sections will be automatically calculated based on the hours you inputted in the previous section. So based on the total hours, your AMC hours, and your match hours. And again, these will be automatically calculated. To the right of the percentage section, you have your expense and match section. These will also be automatically calculated based on the hours you entered. Again, the staff summary consolidates all this information, your payroll information and timesheet. So it's important to understand the flow. So that supporting documentation, payroll, and timesheets goes into the staff summary, which then goes into the expense worksheet and match worksheet, which gives you your FSR. So it's important to keep this in mind, this flow of information. If something's wrong with the staff summary, something might be wrong with the expense and match worksheet, and therefore the FSR. To understand the purpose of the staff summary, we should get familiar with your bi-weekly timesheets. The timesheets and the staff summary go hand in hand. Remember, the staff timesheet must be signed and dated by the employee and supervisor. The employee should fill out the timesheet based on actual hours. The staff payroll ledger is required to be submitted. You'll need these two documents for your staff summary, your timesheet and payroll ledger. So getting your timesheets ready is the first step in completing your staff summary. So the first step in filling out your staff summary is to gather your materials to identify key information, so your staff timesheets and your payroll. Then you're going to want to input that key information into the staff summary. And lastly, you want to double check that information is correct and that you filled it out in the appropriate column. So let's go over three scenarios. We have Tom, Mary, and Dan. Each one has different timesheets and payroll. So let's fill out the staff summary based on that information.
Tom's salary is being fully funded by AmeriCorps. When filling out the timesheet, he will input all of his hours in the column labeled AmeriCorps. After his timesheet is signed and dated by him and his supervisor, it goes to fiscal. The financial person will then take a copy of his timesheet. He or she will use this timesheet as a guide in filling out the staff summary report. I summarized Tom's hours at the top of the page. Let's start filling out the staff summary. First, enter his total hours. In this case, it's 80 hours. Next, enter the total AmeriCorps hours. In this case, it's 80 hours. Enter the total match hours, which is 0, and his gross salary, which is $3,000. The expense and match columns will automatically calculate based on this information. Next, complete the fringe benefits section below by providing a description of fringe and your organization's fringe percentage calculation. In Tom's case, it's 20% of his salary. Mary works a total of 80 hours over a 2-week period. Notice that on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, she works 2 hours on AmeriCorps. On Tuesday and Thursday, she works 7 hours on AmeriCorps. When she fills out her timesheet, she is careful to record these hours under the AmeriCorps column. Her other hours were spent on the WIA grant and are not being used as match. She enters these hours under the respective days and funding source. After Mary's timesheet is signed and dated by her and her supervisor, it goes to fiscal. He or she will use this timesheet as a guide in filling out the staff summary. Okay, let's fill out her staff summary. I've summarized her hours at the top of the page. First, input the total hours, which is 80 hours. Next, input the match hours, which is 0 since none of her time is being billed as match. Enter her total AmeriCorps hours, which is 40 hours, and her gross salary, which is $3,000. The expense and match will automatically calculate based on this information. Next, complete the fringe and benefits section below by providing a description of your fringe and your organization's fringe percentage calculation. In Mary's case, it's 20% of her salary.
Okay, so now let's look at Dan's timesheet. He is 100% match. You'll notice that it's on the highlighted column, it's 80 hours for his total hours for match. Okay, let's fill out his staff summary. I summarized his hours at the top of the page. So first, enter his total hours. In this case, it's 80 hours. Next, enter the total match hours, since his salary is 100% match. Next is gross salary, which is $2,500. Again, the expense and match columns will automatically calculate based on this information. And finally, complete the fringe benefits section below by providing a description of your fringe and your organization's fringe percentage calculation. So now that you've keyed in all that information, it's time to double check. So check if your hours match, your payroll matches, and if you've entered them in the right column. It's important to do this because most of our findings come from the staff summary, and it's super easy to make a mistake and enter that information incorrectly. Some common issues we find with the staff summary are human error. Hours do not match the timesheet, or payroll does not match. And we find incomplete sections, usually with fringe. And lastly, CHC date. Maybe we don't have that CHC date. Maybe it's to be determined, and we're billing for that month. So that's an issue we see very commonly. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions about the staff summary, please visit our AmeriCorps Help Docs, or you can visit our YouTube channel where you'll find other videos and webinars. You can always directly email us or email AmeriCorps FSR@youthbuild.org.